Welcome back to another installment of Anything and Everything, the new edition of Schmegegge the podcast. I'm here with my best friend Kyle Shear. Today we're going to talk about Schmegegge, which is Yiddish for nonsense, and that could probably sum up both of our lives pretty well. Kyle, what's the first thing you want to talk about on Schmegegge the podcast?
Well, I think to start, I hope that our future viewers and yourself had a wonderful holiday.
The holiday season. 'Tis the holiday
I mean,
season.
it was a nice winter break, nice time to kind of relax and kind of soak in all of the schmagigga going on around
Spend time
us.
with your loved ones.
Yeah, even more schmagigga might happen. Let me
Mm.
tell you. Uh, to get started, I think we had a viewer. So what we have decided to do is that a viewer or our intern.
Our newly hired intern, who we haven't let know yet, Andrew.
will it will in fact send us news stories that are just wacky and wild and just kind of sum up this whole podcast.
Mhm.
So the first installment of today's Schmegegge
Dun dun dun.
is South Korea has officially upheld the importing of sex toys into their country.
Upheld meaning stopped or started?
Started.
Oh, okay.
Open up those gates. Open up those
Yeah,
legs. Open up those gates.
we're a pro sex podcast, so yeah, use all the toys you want.
Do we feel that's important for the South Korean people that they
If they want to express themselves with the different uses of sex toys and they want to, not elaborate, but like use more toys, spice it up in the bedroom a little bit. I'm with that. As long as it's consensual, that's all that matters.
I mean, I believe that whatever happens behind closed doors is,
None of
your
my
own
business. Yeah.
It's none of my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important. I think it's kind of funny, and why I think it's nonsense is because imagine if, like, in South Korea or the Korea Republic, as it can also be stated as, people were actually, going to jail or
For
have
using sex
fines
toys.
for just trying to traffic them. I think about like how in the U.S. before, like, people were going to prison for marijuana, and now you can buy it legally in hipster shops all around the world, and now you got people who maybe they're sitting in South Korean jail. Like, oh man, I wish I had waited.
There's this black market now there was for sex toys in South Korea. Now it's mainstream.
I mean, I just think it's hysterical thinking about that. In that culture, in that sense, that people, they're a little bit weirdo.
Maybe.
And I'm glad
I
they
ain't never
get
been to
their
South
piece.
Korea though.
Hey, soul, baby,
Soul.
I'm coming for
it's
you.
good for the soul.
Good for the
Sex
soul.
toys good for the soul.
Good
All
for
right.
the soul.
Next topic.
Well, to go off of that, I think it's funny because now I was reading another article sent in telling that toy companies, not sex toys,
Okay,
just
we've
toys.
shifted now,
We're
yeah.
going straight to good old fashioned
Dolls and such.
dolls,
Yeah.
Bob the Builder helmets.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
Legos,
toy trucks,
Bionicles.
Hasbro.
Mm-hmm.
They are actually now aiming for more of the adult consumer.
Okay.
They want. I think I read this could again be totally wrong and just nonsense that I make up, but toy companies, like, actually the toys bought online, like maybe a Lego or Hasbro, are actually more for adults. It's like 40%
Okay.
of the industry.
Oh.
They're actually being like bought by adults.
Okay. So are they adults buying for their kids or like
No, it's like
for the
it's
use
like
of
for the use of.
Okay. So like what are
adults.
some of the things that they're buying?
I mean, I think it's more so because I definitely see it on the interwebs. Definitely like the Legos, maybe.
So it's more of like a nostalgia purchase. Like, oh, I remember having fun with these as a kid. Now I'm going to buy them again as an adult.
And it prolonged itself. Maybe you continue.
Okay.
They never let that aspect go.
Okay.
So I find that interesting to see how that will kind of phase in and see how that does if the industry increases. The next thing I'm gonna meet people in my life. They're in their 30s and they hit me up for a birthday or holiday, and it's like, hey man, let me get some Legos.
Let me get those Nerf guns.
I'd be like, oh, yeah, let me get that super.
I was a big Nerf gun guy.
Big Nerf gun guy.
Yeah, I had them all. I had the minigun. I had like that long sniper rifle that you could take off, and then it was like a pistol, and then like another rifle. It was, I had a lot. Shout out Meme, she probably still got them.
Just just weaponry. No like Nerf sports. No like Nerf
Oh, funny
footballs.
enough, no. For all the
No,
sports I
no,
played as a youth, no Nerf
no.
sports stuff.
Really?
I mean, I could remember having like one of those Nerf footballs that like had the whistle on the side when you threw it in the air and it was like,
Yup.
yeah, that. But yeah, I remember like when I was really younger, we used to have like Nerf gun wars at Meme's house. Like we would use Meme and Pepe's room as like one base, and we use like the kitchen as another. Start setting up some chairs and like some pillows as like a little fort, and it was a good time.
Yeah. No, no. Kids sit on their PCs, play Fortnite.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Got him.
Yeah, no. I was surprisingly enough. I had Nerf guns too.
Mm.
I can complete that kind of nostalgia, but surprisingly enough, as a young kid, I like was more of a stick pretend weapon kind of kid.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
okay, I gotcha.
grab a stick, that the one side stick looked right off that looked like a holster, and you
Mm.
pop it off. Then once I made my first Adaladdle. You know what an Adaladdle is? An Adaladdle is a Native American weapon
Oh okay.
that you have a stick, you make it long, and you sharp at the end, and you can kind of tie an arrowhead to it, and
Oh.
then you actually put it in this other hole. So you carve a hole and you stick the non-pointing end of the stick in it, and then you
Mm.
hold it like this, and then you pop it like that, and you can actually throw the spear. So you hold on to that
Oh
one piece, and
yeah.
then you throw the spear.
Mm.
And I was like,
I need one.
that is very interesting,
Mm.
and I'm going to see if I can actually pierce things.
You like this? I made it.
You made this?
Yeah, me and Sunita. It's there.
Is that mahogany?
I don't know what kind of wood it is. It's solid though. It also lifts up. Ready for
I'm
this?
getting a nice.
Da-da-da.
See, this is the greatest engineering I've ever seen in my life. It went from TV trays
Mhm.
to this.
Yeah,
This is beautiful.
yeah. $88 on an app that I've used because there's no free ads on this podcast.
True. We
Yeah.
do not give in to.
Not sponsored by anyone, by the
Yeah,
way.
we do not.
But if you want to,
We
let
do
me
not
know.
give in to the
Corporate
capitalistic
yeah,
schmegegge.
yeah,
Actually,
corporate
we're not.
hierarchy. But if
No
you
offense
know,
there. Small
everybody's got a
businesses.
price. Especially if you're a small business. I got a
Small
price for
business.
small businesses.
And that,
Corporate's a little bit higher.
and that price hits me right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm paying for someone's college tuition or maybe a new bike.
Hey,
I don't want. I don't want to be paying for someone's $1 billion salary.
Nah,
Nah,
waste of our time. That's a lot of nonsense. I think.
a lot of schmegegge. What else is there to talk about? What else is the nonsense going on in
Oh
today's
my
world?
goodness! If you want to get into the real meat and potatoes,
Mm-hmm.
or should I dare say the tofu and the dressing for all of
Oh,
our vegan
vegans.
eaters
Mm-hmm.
out here, we can hit something that I will feel would be a very very warm breeze
Mm.
when it comes to the topic of things. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
really ready for it, we can begin.
Yeah, I'm with it.
How and or when will e-girls take over the world?
The how is pretty simple. I feel like there's a lot of dudes out there that are just trying to get a little something
Can
from
can
the.
you can you for our viewers and maybe some people in the room too shy to, but it's okay to ask questions. We're lifelong learners here. What is an e-girl?
You know what's crazy? I don't even know.
Because what's the difference between an e-girl and OnlyFans?
I don't know. I think an e-girl is someone that could solicit something on the internet from anybody, and
Mm,
OnlyFans is like mainly like picture and video based.
I believe so.
Yeah, so maybe e-girls like I don't know, go out and do stuff. I don't know, like get groceries for somebody.
Yeah. I mean, groceries. I mean, because they are slowly and very profoundly crippling the patriarchy, crippling it. They are going to be the FBI, CIA of how to bring down any future male figure ever. And I absolutely love it.
So you're saying that if a person in power who is presumably male gets into some form of relationship with an e-girl, they could potentially like relate, just not
Oh,
put,
not
like
even
could be
relationships.
platonic.
But
Yeah, just like
we'll
talking.
use the term receipts. They're gonna
There you
have
go.
all their
Yeah,
receipts,
of like what they want,
what
and
they
then
want, what they've
yeah,
asked for, all these things.
little
You know that
blackmail action.
it's not gonna be a whole lot of the Cuomo stuff where it's
Oh yeah,
she say, and then it's like, who do you believe? It's just gonna be like all out there, and people are
yeah.
gonna be like, oh wow, like people are weirdos. People are oddballs when it comes down to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it all over the place, and I think to myself, like they're gonna keep tabs. It's gonna be big because again, it's all a business, it's all an enterprise. But what they're doing and what like the information they probably have
Mm-hmm.
and keep,
Dirt. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
the dirtiest dirt
Mm-hmm. The dirt.
is unreal. And to
Mm-hmm.
go forward with that, they like I said, they're like the CIA, FBI.
Mm-hmm.
Think about your early 2000s action movie. They're typing on their computers, they're
Mm-hmm.
logging, they're getting all the information. The cavalry, boots laced up on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
making it
Pulling
happen.
it up by the
The
bootstraps.
scariest people also coming at the patriarchy. Muscle mommies.
Ooh, tell them about the muscle mommies.
Muscle mommies, I will not lie to you. I swear they popped up in 2021. They were not a thing before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing I know, everybody's inside. Everybody is making a home gym. They're finally listening to Michelle Obama and getting their 60 minutes a day.
Yep.
And what seemed as such a positive kind of atmosphere for these young women or old women, it's scaring me to the point where it's Schmegegge in my mind, and I don't know what to do because it's everywhere. I can't get away from it. I have not been to a gym in years.
Now you don't want to. You feel
Now I
like there's
don't
a
want to.
barrier to.
It's rough. It's gonna be rough scenes because again, this is just a different way to build up their confidence. You got egos, people just throwing money at them
Mm-hmm.
for feet pics, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to walk in to a gym and I'm just gonna see somebody absolutely like murdering a bench
Mm-hmm.
and just like me going up there and being like, "Hey, can I get your back workout?" Like what?
Yeah.
What? Frightening.
Well, you know what's crazy? Those muscle mommies you see in the gym, they probably want you to succeed just as much as you want to succeed. So if you need a tip, it doesn't necessarily matter who you go to. I feel like they'd be a good place to start too.
Oh, like yeah, we can think more of like the health and fitness aspect. That's nice because yeah,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's a starting point. You go into the gym, you work hard. Everybody starts from their base point. But I just solely mean that they have grown so much.
The population
The
has, yeah,
percentage
it's gone up.
skyrocketed,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a lot to take in because before it was like you're not gonna see a muscle mommy,
Mm-hmm.
gonna be at their bodybuilding
And now it's like
competition.
every other girl on Instagram's got a fitness page.
Yeah, now I'm
Mm-hmm.
like,
And they'd
what?
be benching more than me and you.
Yeah, now I'm like, what'd you crawl out of? Like, weren't you like 5'3", like a buck 30? When did you become a 5'9", 215?
How did you grow 6 inches?
how did how did you just
How are your shoulders the size of bowling
how did
balls?
you just embrace all that? And it's just like hey, to me, I think about it, with fitness and things like that. It's like the runner's high.
Mm-hmm.
When you see yourself improve and you lift that weight, you max out whatever,
Mm-hmm.
something triggers and you just want to keep doing it. So like
Yeah.
I applaud them and anyone who continuously works out in the gym for the tenacity and the effort.
Mm-hmm.
But muscle mommies, for my sake, I need you to slow it down. My heart and my mind can't take a whole bunch of it. I can't.
The
Whatever,
combination of
dime a
e
dozen.
girls and muscle mommies has Kyle in a tizzy right now.
And a tizzy because I know that all it's gonna take. A song like "We Didn't Start the Fire."
Mm.
It's like blah blah blah. Da, da, da. It's gonna be like girls, muscle mommies ended the patriarchy. It's gonna be a wrap.
E girl started the fire.
Like literally, it's a crazy. Like we laugh, but I mean it's gonna happen because all it's gonna take is one muscle mommy to meet up with like an AOC
Mm.
and stick it to him. It's
Yeah,
over.
too much.
It's over. It's over.
No one's gonna know how to stop it.
No one's gonna be safe.
Mm.
And again, I'm
Women empowerment.
all about just the wild card
Mm.
that is Schmegegge upon society. That's all I care about. It's not anarchy. It's
Schmegegge.
just not Schmegegge.
Mm.
It's just nonsense.
So what else? What else is going on?
Well, unfortunately, we must take a break from all this laughter and
Mm.
good times, and we must lower our heads as we lost someone today
Mm.
in the footballing community. We lost. His real name was Edson. Edson with like six long names. She's Brazilian, but we did in fact lose Pele.
Mm.
We lost Pele,
It's a sad day.
a true goat. I think it's a little bit ironic that he died officially knowing that he wasn't the goat anymore, and that
Maybe that's what put him over the edge.
a little boy from Rosario who shook hands with paradise and pitched his tent in heaven as he raised the World Cup trophy. It was just astoundingly just now officially the goat. But it leads me into questioning because like how I look at it, because again, like I never watched Pele, right?
Mm.
So I know there
You
are a
can only
lot.
hear about him.
Yeah, I know there are a lot more football fans than basketball
Mm.
fans, but he was in a way like a Bill Russell, right? Bill
Mm.
Russell was the most
Yeah, Bill
recent
Russell
of today. It wasn't
passing.
it wasn't
Yeah.
Will. It was
Mm.
Bill.
It was Bill Russell. Yeah.
Bill Russell. It's like in that same like you lose a great one, but are we going to discuss that? Because for us, the goat debate was always between Messi and Ronaldo.
Mm.
The goat debate was between what LeBron and who?
It's LeBron and Jordan. Yeah.
LeBron and Jordan.
Mm.
That's why I think it's interesting. I never knew if I leaned over to the side of goat per decade,
Mm.
per like a certain
Mm.
time, and then if there is like an overall like goat, like because that was the one thing I never got out of people when they talk about the goat debate, even though it's an acronym for greatest of all
Mm.
time.
Yeah.
But not everybody gets to see
It is kind of funny that
everybody
people are like,
play.
"Oh, who's the goat of the '80s?" It's like, well, the '80s isn't like all of time, so it's like kind of like, oh, who was like the best player or who was the greatest player in the '80s?
Mm-mm.
But yeah, like I guess when like even when our parents talk about it, like they watched like the Magics and the Larrys, like
Mm-hmm.
they watched like the '80s and the '90s basketball. They'll be like, oh, it's like between these people, and then the '90s are like, oh, it's Jordan, and the 2000s is like Kobe, and now it's Bron, and now it's like you can respect all those different players because I think, and this is where like basketball and soccer are different. Like basketball has changed completely, like
Mm-hmm.
with all the different rules and like adding the 3 point line back in the night or whenever it's 79, and just how the pace of play has changed and like how Steph Curry's changed the game and things like that. So when someone like Bill Russell passes recently and like how he played back in like the 50s and 60s, it's
Yeah.
like he was the GOAT then, and then the mantle gets transferred over to the next best person who, it could have been anybody in the 70s. It could have been like Kareem or it could have been like Oscar Robertson. And then you go to talk about the 80s and the 90s and things like that. And it's this constant debate, but like the overarching goat is like it's you can't really it's tough to choose one person when you have such a game that's changed so many
So
times.
it's more so in the instance of, let's say, when Bill Russell stopped playing,
Mm.
right then and there, for some reason, basketball just ends.
Mm.
He's the goat.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then you get that next
The next era, yeah.
person
Mm-hmm.
who you can say was either equivalent or better
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
than the past.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Because
But it's also you and like we can only watch film, but like there's like how just the game has transitioned into like now a lot of people are shooting more threes and twos. Back in the '80s, it was like you never shot threes. Like
Oh yeah.
the best shooter in the '80s probably shot 2 or 3 threes a game or something. Like not a big number. So just seeing how the games change is kind of difficult to say. Oh, who's the GOAT? And if you want to base it on championships, then it can be Bill Russell. If you want to base it on like overall dominance, then you pick and choose your decade because there are a lot of different people that dominated their respective decade.
So when we look back, who we saying is the undisputed champion of the e girl? Who was
I couldn't even tell you who any e girl is.
dude same? I think that's what frustrates. I think it's the. I think I'm nervous about it because like I'm afraid of the unknown.
Mm, it
Just
could be anywhere.
could be anywhere at any
Any
time.
link you click on,
Any
it just
link.
lead you right down the e girl path.
Boom. You know, is an e girl one of those? You know, there are single Ukrainian women in my area.
You click on that, it just like gives all your
Look
information
right
to an
there.
e girl, and
Yeah.
then this random number starts texting you like, "Hey, you want to see my pictures tonight?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah."
Yeah. Just don't know. It's gonna be a recurring segment here, folks. Strap
Yeah,
in.
strap in, and
But
then muscle mommies are soon to follow.
I watched the CrossFit Championships
Oh,
one time
yeah.
back in like 2018, 2019, right?
Mm-hmm.
Terrifying. What are they doing?
If you've
Don't
been on the
ever
fence about DMing a muscle mommy in your area, this is your sign to do it. For Kyle's sake,
go
do
for
it.
it. Find out more information. And
Mm-hmm.
when you find enough information,
Report back.
send it back. Because
We're gonna get to the bottom of it.
where do they come from?
Where
They pop up now.
where'd they come from? Where'd they go?
They didn't
Where'd you go, Cotton Eye Joe?
they don't grow up, they just appear.
Yeah.
It's like they're made in a
It's like they go in a cave for like a
lab.
year and then they come out with lats. It's like
Yeah,
it's
no.
taken me 7 years. I don't have lats.
Yeah, no, I am on the fence about it. So please help the Schmegegge podcast out as best you can. Do your part. We're
Mm-hmm.
doing our part. We're sending out the message. Do your part to
Mm-hmm.
find more research. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
The Schmegegge that I've seen today, I didn't read my daily Wall Street Journal article, so I couldn't tell you what's going on in the actual economy. But I did have to count ice cream today for burned dairy.
oh my goodness.
And when I tell you, my fingers still hurt because I was trying to write down how many Ben and Jerry's pints were in that freezer that was negative 23 degrees. They're not still purple, thankfully. I don't have frostbite, but I was in there for about 5 minutes and my fingers are hurting. So if you ever work for Burn Dairy, make sure you don't get the freezer shift because that stuff is sucks.
More of personal Schmegegge, and I like this segment, personal Schmegegge. What I think is just absolutely is back roads
Mm,
and how they gotta
at
stop.
night.
They gotta
Well, I
stop
mean, night
being
in upstate New York is about 4:30. So
they gotta stop being windy.
mm,
They gotta stop changing in speed limits
that's true.
all the time. Like I get it. You're a small town that looks like the depression still exists. Why is it 30? Well, that's just a straight shot through.
Mm-hmm.
And then
There's
why?
one light and maybe a stop sign.
And then why? Right when I get to the end of whatever you want to consider civilization, I just immediately pop up to 55, only to
55,
then
baby.
go about 8 miles and
It's back to 45.
back to 45.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what are you doing?
And then you look, you're like, Colgate University.
You're like, wait a
You
minute.
just pop out in some like town that you might have heard of before if you're from upstate New York.
No, literally, it's absolutely woeful, and I will continue my metropolitan lifestyle.
I'm glad I only have to travel on I-90 for work because I don't have to deal with a lot of that. But like when I go back to Oni, it's not fun.
Just ridiculous at the end of the day. Yeah, so that's a lot of mostly what I do. You know what actually isn't speaking at all, it's actually wonderful is, and I will tell you, is go talk, meet up with somebody that you haven't seen in a while. I got
Mm.
breakfast today with Principal Cook,
How's
John
that man
Cookster.
doing?
Oh
Did he tell you to
my
call him John?
goodness, no.
Oh, thank God. I'm still calling him Mr.
Yeah,
Cook.
Mr. Cook, the Cookster, until the death
Mm-hmm.
of me. He'll never
Mm-hmm.
die. He's a legend.
It's true.
And whew, what a blast that was. You love people in your life. Like we exchanged numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Like he looks exactly
The same.
the same, just lost a little hair. But I mean, last time I saw him, 2009.
Yes. I mean, 13 years, that'll do it to you.
And oh, I just having him be so interested and still caring.
Mm-hmm.
Asked about you, and I told him all your stuff that you're doing well, and just knowing that like people like generally care, and
Yeah.
you grow up with them, and they want you to succeed
Mm-hmm.
because they did their time, and now it's like
Yeah.
let's see what you can do
Mm-hmm.
with yours. And he was just so invested. Like I thought I was gonna have like a quick breakfast with him, like 30, 45 minutes, and just like go back and pack. We talked for like 2 hours,
That's sick. Where'd you
and
guys go?
we went to the Plaza
Oh,
Plaza
what is
Diner,
that?
Route 7.
I've probably never been there. I've heard of it, but I've
Yeah,
never been there.
I mean we've been out of it seems like we've been out of Oneon for a while.
Mm.
But no, it's just awesome, and we chatted and we chatted, and he's still refing.
Yeah. I see him at SUNY Poly sometimes. He does
Yeah,
the SUNY Poly games.
yeah, what a
And we
guy.
always used to talk.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely, if you're thinking about it and you're thinking, well, how's this person been? What about this? My
Shoot him a
neighbor,
message.
whatever. Shoot him a message.
Send him
You
a meme.
you got
Something.
you're connected with the world in your back pocket. You
Mm-hmm.
utilize it. I promise you. Because we did exchange numbers.
Yeah.
And he was like, when you get that official job,
Mm-hmm.
you text me, FaceTime me. We can do
You think
interview and
that's gonna be
stuff.
something that you look forward to when you're teaching? It's like,
Oh,
oh, I wonder how this person's doing, and then when you see them, you're just like, oh wow, like that's awesome.
if there is anything in my life that will cause the most positive schmegegge, it's going to be teaching.
Mm.
I've already experienced nonsense on a level I have never experienced before with the kids that I'm student teaching now.
Mm.
And it's just been an absolute blast. And I think I will enjoy it because, funny enough, how I see myself and how I understand Mr. Cook a lot more is I don't have all the answers when it comes to academics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a guy who, if you look at me as a social studies teacher and you're like, oh, when was the Silk Road made and how did that economically impact the Western world? Be quiet. You want to learn that? Go to college and take a random class that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I found out is I'm a lot more of that social, emotional, where I'm here to, the greatest teacher of all is life, and there's lessons to hand out every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I'm really good at because I'm just relatable. I've seen a lot, I've done a lot
Mm-hmm.
on a smaller scale, and I think that's what people like. And I'm approachable, and that's just where it's very enjoyable because then you do get to talk to kids and learn about them and help them out through that
Mm-hmm.
way. And I think that's more of a positive impact than saying, "Yeah, congratulations, you know who fought in the
I
Civil
was gonna
War."
say you got 100 on your test, but like if you can't
Yeah,
have a conversation with somebody, then
yeah,
like what's
because
the
that's
point?
the big nonsense that people think about social studies. It's about kings, battles, and dates,
Mm.
and it's not. It's social studies. The big word is social, and that
Mm-hmm.
that can be it's an umbrella of so many things and hits so many spectrums where we really dive into cultural diffusion and just understanding all these theories and practices that basically help society move along with trends and shocks that can be cultural and economic.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that aspect that I enjoy more, and I think I'm so very good at just because that's just me. It's just what my environment made me.
Mm-hmm.
That's another social thing too. Your environment, how it makes you, and these kids really enjoy that because I put it back on them. Everything that I've taught them, they've had to relate it to what they see in their own eyes every day,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's important.
Yeah.
So I definitely am in the field I'm supposed to be in. And I can't wait. Whatever. You know, Mr. Cook said, not if, it's when. When this all happens, I plan on taking everybody I know somewhere fun.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned. Stay,
Cabo, whatever it's called.
stay tuned. We might be doing a Schmegegge podcast. Who knows?
Egypt.
In Egypt, South
Mm-hmm.
Korea, maybe Japan. You never know. You never know.
That's for life to tell us when that time comes.
Hey,
Full circle, sugar.
I'm just on a merry-go-round, and sometimes the merry-go-round stops, and I get off and I check something out. I hop back on and keep moving. But the scope, the lens of life is pretty fascinating. It's all just because we were talking. Actually, I'll bring it up because again, I think it's just funny nonsense, and it just makes sense with our podcast. So I was telling him, I was like, hey, like I got this gig because like my friend like called me, like he's in the military. Like I was never involved in the military. I never did any of that. Like, and he's like, is that the beauty of it? You know, Mr. Cook used to work at used to be a teacher at Suco college. He was a college
I
teacher
feel
for
like I knew that.
health and
Yeah,
science.
I feel like I knew that.
And then like he got on all these things,
Went to Center Street.
and he was just like, I was just doing like, I went from being a college teacher to an athletic director to a principal. I don't know what I was doing, but I did it.
Yeah.
It's funny how all this stuff kind of happens, like how life really has no roadmaps. You just
Do it.
go with it, and if you did something wrong, you come back to that fork in the road and you try something else. And that's what I love about it. That's what I think I'm gonna love as we continue this podcast, because it's just so much nonsense is gonna lead to uh
Cool life
core
experiences.
experience in these resolutions, and just like getting through it. And sometimes it's gonna be funny, sometimes it's gonna be sad, sometimes it's gonna not be so good, but it's gonna be nonsense that you learn from.
That's it. Yeah, that's life. Life
Yeah.
is all that. If you don't do all that, then it's like, well, like what happened?
Then you
just
missed out.
you did the same thing every single day forever.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, you missed out. Yeah. Loser.
Robot.
Robot. So yeah, so I thought that was
Hold on,
cool.
but if you're happy doing the same thing every single day, then yeah, do you?
Yeah, and I will tell you, even if you think you're doing the same thing every day, like I can attest to it to him, maybe yourself. Like we do technically do the same thing every day.
Yeah, I go to the same 9 to 5.
I teach
Yeah.
every day. You account for things,
Yeah.
maybe audit businesses
Yeah.
every day, but every day you wake up and something new is gonna happen.
Yeah.
You wake up. You're gonna wake up a half a second earlier or later than the day you got up before. You're gonna do something different with your hair. You're gonna put a new pair of clothes on. And I think that's what's important. That's
Taking the little things, maximizing the big things.
Yeah.
I
agree.
You know what else was nonsense today that I was thinking of?
What you got for me?
So, and I love her to death. Sanita sends me a lot of pictures of Chloe, her cat, and I love the pictures of Chloe.
Big cat guy.
And so there's a picture that she sent me. Chloe was just sitting on Sanita's desk while she was working, and she was like all sprawled out. It was really cute. But then Sanita sends a message under the photo, and we've been joking back and forth that like Chloe has no thoughts in her mind whatsoever, because like she's a cat and we don't know how they view the world and like what goes through their minds.
Yeah.
So it's that picture, and then it's just not a thought is behind those eyes.
I love it.
I started laughing at work, and then she sends more pictures, and like there's one Chloe's just like sitting and her food bowl is in front of her, tipped over, and I was like, you need to feed her now.
Yeah.
So, and the nonsense behind that is like right now, like we're in this moment, we're having this podcast, we're like, oh yeah, we're sitting on the couch, we're doing our thing, like we're gonna do something later and we're gonna do our thing tomorrow. And then cats are just like there. Like they're just like they're like when Chloe was sitting on the desk, I can't imagine Chloe was like, I wonder if she's working now and I'm being a nuisance. Like she's just like, I'm on the desk now, what are you gonna do about it? Like shit like that.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting concept when you have pets, domesticated animals, and like my cat Leo, he knows spring chicken now, but and I've seen him only a couple times go back to like that primal instinct route, but we got him when he was a kitten. That house that he's been in
It's his world.
It's his entire world.
Mm-hmm.
He's been outside of it once, but he's
Mm-hmm.
never been outside of it. And we got him an automatic feeder. And he, it's funny when you think about it, because it's almost, I almost relate it to, sorry to get graphic, but I relate it to like how the Mayans or the Aztecs, whoever it was, used to like sacrifice people and rip their hearts out because they didn't know
Oh,
that the sun was going to come up. Right? I don't know if you
like
ever.
in Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, where he like, and then like that.
Nah, I'm talking about like they believed that they. Have you ever seen the movie The Road to El Dorado?
No.
No.
All right.
If you haven't, watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Great film. Great film. And yeah, they would literally sacrifice people because they didn't know that the sun just came up. They thought that
So fucking
the
dumb.
gods
Yeah.
had to drain the stairs of their pyramids with blood.
Yeah.
So that's nonsense, right?
Yeah.
So what my cat does is he comes down. So the timer goes off at like 4:45 every day for his second feeding,
Mm.
and he'll come downstairs
Mm-hmm.
and he'll get recognition from anybody who's in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll come and do the whole like
Mm-hmm.
rub you and the little pat, and then the food will have not even fully gone through the mechanism
But Leo's already there.
to hit, and you'll just hear like a rant, which like tells you that it's turning on to
Mm.
feed, and he's immediately gone.
Wow.
And I don't think he realizes that the food is going to come out anyway. He
Oh.
believes that by coming downstairs and getting the recognition from these people who have taken care of him, it's ingrained for him to be like, I have to show them love and affection
To
first
be fed.
before I get fed.
Ah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So there are definitely thoughts behind those eyes. They are just very, very minimal.
I got you. Yeah.
And they are like they're like, and again, some cats are smart. I believe that outdoor cats are way smarter than full on stay
Probably.
in the house cats. Is that Chloe is a full on indoor
Yeah.
cat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Chloe actually had a little stint at my old place, and that was a good time. Chloe
Oh
had to
yeah.
get acclimated to the area first, so it was a rough like couple hours. But then she did her thing in the litter box, and she walked around a little bit. And she was
It's not
fine.
funny how that works out. Yeah, I gotta take a big old poopy whoop in the
Mm-hmm.
box.
And then you're like, I'm good.
And you're like, this can be home.
This can be fine.
This
Yeah.
can be home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, I think that's classic stuff. I feel. Do you think you'll ever own a pet? You never had a pet.
No, I haven't. Eventually, yeah, I want to get a medium-sized dog and or a cat. Definitely. I
Medium
don't know.
sized cat.
No, a cat
Schmegegge.
and a medium-sized dog.
Then
I don't know if this place will let me though. I talked to him
a
about
boy and a girl.
maybe. I
We
don't
get a
know.
whole nuclear family going on. A pure old American family.
Um,
Bother me though.
eventually, yeah.
That's
I
good.
might have to own my own house first, but then I make the rules.
Yeah. Yeah, you make the rules. We like that. Make your own rules.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do. Be a good person. Make your own
Mm-hmm.
rules.
So we got into a little bit of the e-girls, muscle mommies vibe. And
Boy, did
again,
we.
again, if you're thinking about hitting one up, do it for Kyle. Let's do that. I think we're gonna get into a little bit of some more heartfelt and more personal content in the next episode. This is gonna be a good series coming from us to you. So we hope you enjoy. And Kyle's gonna sign us off.
Always be yourself. Always do good. Always look for good. And remember, no matter what happens, you'll always have a little bit of Schmegegge.
Mm-hmm. Have a good night.
You.